welcome to the show. I am just super excited, as you can probably tell by my teeth and my eyes there. I'm just very excited because I have a very dear friend, colleague of mine that's joining us today. And without further ado, we have Kimberly Bell.
Yay. Thank you so much for having me. I
Yeah.
can't tell you, I'm so honored to be here. I've never been on someone's podcast, so thank you for having me.
Oh no, awesome. Thank you. You are helping to make history, of this show. Because like I said, I wanted this to be about people that I know, people that I admire, and I wanted to share that with other people. So let's jump right in.
Yeah.
First, before we jump in, I'll just kind of share a little bit like how you and I got acquainted, right? I mean, how many? It was a few years back, right?
Yep, probably since see what's this year? I think 2016. 2016.
Wow. Wow,
Yeah.
that went by really quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
so
did.
so we were working on the IT project. We were working for the same company, telecommunications, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So many years. Go ahead.
John was the guru,
No,
so
no, no, no. No, we were working on two systems, right, that needed to communicate together. So, like I say, Kim was, the guru of the other system. I'm not gonna give the other system no free publicity, you know. But you're working on one system, but our two systems needed to talk. And so we made it work. We made the company successful. But in the midst of that, we were able to connect on a lot of similar interests, like music. Like remember that you.
that's right. That's right. Lots of
Okay.
music and reading materials and yeah, lots of things.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why I wanted to make sure I stayed in contact with you because when you come across good people, at least in my life, I try to make sure I connect with them. And you've always been a good person, great energy. You always bring sunshine with you, even when it was rough days. I would look over, and you still was like, you kept that smile going. I was like, man, this is a really cool lady here. She's really brings light to the darkest situations. So I like to keep people that bring light in my life. Okay,
Oh,
so
thank you so much. That's very
yeah,
kind.
yeah, I gotta give you some applause for that. We like to give plenty of applause on this show. Yeah.
Studio audience is a lot.
Yeah, yeah. We got a lot of people in the audience tonight. I think we sold out, so you know we want to keep selling out this show. So
Yeah.
let's jump right in. Let's kind of go in maybe a little bit. I know your background is extensive, and we couldn't cover it all on the show, but maybe you can share the highlights of your background and your experience in general.
Yep. Okay. So I'm Kimberly Bell, and I work mainly in the field of IT. Um, I started that when I was back when I was 18. I joined the U.S. Air Force, and that's where I got my start working in telecommunications. I'm a native of South Jersey, but
Wow.
I've moved around quite a bit. Now I live in Orlando. Um, Most people that are military have lived quite a few places. And I can remember, right out of high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I wasn't sure what career path to go in. But I had met someone older than me that was in the military. And I really loved when I visited Andrews Air Force Base in Washington. I thought at 15, that's what I'm doing. So when I got to be 18, I remembered that I enjoyed that. So I went down and I joined, and they actually signed me up for a telecommunications job. So I started there and I served, in a couple different bases. I went overseas. My
Wow.
first base was to the Philippines. And my mom at the time, I remember she's like, "That's so far. You're only 18 and going." And I was like,
Yeah.
I couldn't wait to get there. But,
Wow.
I learned a lot, and it was kind of a first job to get you started. You get your feet wet in that career field, and I stuck with it. Later on, when I did get out of the military, I finished my degree in management information systems, and
Wow.
I started working on corporate telephone systems and voice systems. And through working defense contractors and all that, I ended up working with you. And
Wow.
so that's how that came from. So my main career is in IT, but my passion is probably quite a few other things because I have so many interests. I have
Yeah.
trouble focusing on, okay, this is going to be my thing, but there are a few things that I am passionate about. Um, Over the years, sometimes I've gotten involved with different things and then I'll move on to something else, but I do really love learning about different things and at least knowing something about many different things.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's part of what drew me to you is you enjoy learning as well. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yes.
Wow. That's wow.
The applause is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you kind of make my life seem boring. 'Cause when I
Oh,
listen to
no, no.
that,
When you asked me to be on here, I thought, oh, I'm so boring. But, um,
no, no.
every person, I think one thing you have to be okay with yourself. Like, you may not feel like you're that exciting, but there's other people that, are interested in hearing about what you're doing. And I know I'm certainly interested in hearing about what other people do. But let's see what else. I'm a clarinetist. I started playing clarinet when I was 10. And
Wow.
so once I got older, I didn't really have a venue to play, but now I do play with my church, and uh, I really enjoy that. It feels like clarinet has been a friend for a long time, like over the years.
Wow.
Um, and did you know the clarinet is the only instrument, well, it's the instrument that is closest to the human voice.
No, I
So
didn't know that. Really?
yes, yeah, that's true. So it kind
Wow.
of sounds like it is like a voice. And I can't sing, so I guess that's my voice.
Oh, I did not know that. No, that is cool.
Yeah.
See that's what I always admired about you. It's like first of all, like you said, going back to the military, you get to travel and you just learn so much and meet so many people, and then like you say, you're obviously high level IT and telecommunications engineer, but then you're like, oh yeah, I know how to play the clarinet too, and I that's just interesting to me because I never officially learned an instrument. I play by ear and do some stuff, digital music,
Yeah.
but playing an instrument that's just awesome because it takes some discipline and practice. And you've been doing it since you said 10.
Yes, since I was 10, you would think I would be better, but I'm
That's
still
not.
just okay. But that's one thing about life. You can't be too afraid to try some things. There's going to be some things that you try and you're like, I'm no good at this. I suck.
Hmm.
But at least, you know what? You still learned something. So no matter who you are, that's one thing, my dad used to talk about that too. He's like, don't be afraid to try different things. You may not like everything, but try it out and you'll find things you didn't think that you would like. And you know dealing with different people, give people a chance. You People are definitely very interesting. And
Yeah.
you know so
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you. All right. Let's. Thank you for that. Okay, so I want to move on into your current adventures. Yeah,
yeah.
let's hear about that.
Well, current adventures, I've always got some things on the back burner, but I jotted down. I'm like, okay, these days, what's keeping my interest? So, okay, here's one that's kind of out of the norm that I'm really enjoying. So, about 2 years ago, I was looking through YouTube and I came across this documentary. And back in, I think, the 1920s and 30s, um, when they had the Jim Crow era going on in the US, the Soviet Union actually invited um, Black American families or anyone who wanted to come to the Soviet Union, they invited them to come over there. And the documentary was about what happened to those families after they went over there. And they just interviewed them. Really, nothing happened to them. But it got me thinking, like, to see them fluent in Russian, it really got me interested, and language has always been something I've really been interested in. I was trained in French in high school. I took 2 years of it, and afterwards I tried to study Spanish and all that. But I thought, I wonder if I could learn Russian. And so I pulled out the Duolingo and pulled out the YouTube videos. And sure enough, even though it's hard, the alphabet is a little bit rough, and you're thinking, I'm never going to learn this. And then you just start going. You start learning the alphabet, and you're like, okay, this letter makes this sound. Okay, that letter makes that sound. And I'm like, I wonder if there's a Russian store in our area. I found the Russian store. I went there, I got a newspaper. And then you just start sounding out the names of it instead of the words. I'm like, Maria. I'm like,
Uh,
Maria. I'm like, no way. So pretty soon, like, I'm writing out my own name. And then you start learning words. So that's been my latest thing of really studying the Russian language. And it's really fascinating. um, Not
wow.
that I'll ever be fluent, but that's probably my latest thing that um, I've been doing every day a little bit of studying and reading a
Okay.
little more. So, um, let's see. Um, I've also have been interested in becoming a drone pilot. So I bought a
Nice.
drone and I took a drone flying class just to make sure I didn't crash on landing. But that's something that's really interesting, and getting aerial footage and some of the stuff that we're doing with video editing, I'm
Hmm.
definitely able to add a little better cinematography to my videos. So,
We're
yeah.
looking forward to seeing that. I think when you first told me about that too, that you said like they pay people once you know how to do that, right? They pay
Yeah,
you to.
yeah, people are, you can work as a drone pilot. I know a couple people that are retired and they just kind of do it part-time. They work for realtors, roofing companies, and just take whatever aerial photos they need. So that might be
Wow.
something I need a little bit later.
Wow, that is so cool. That
Yeah,
is.
it's fun. It's fun.
That is cool. Wow. Wow. Um, so I know you might have some other stuff, but I'm just excited about this one. Or maybe you were leading up to it to one of my favorite adventures. If you are leading up to it, I'm gonna stop and then let you
No,
just
no, I
go.
was gonna just wait and wait for you to bring it up so I could say, "Oh yes,
Yeah.
that old thing."
All right. So let's say we got to hear about the Rookery. Okay. So am I saying it right? Is it the Rookery, right?
The Rookery, yes.
And when you told me, as I like to learn, when you told me, I was like, oh, I got to look up this word. And I started
Yes.
looking it up. And it was explaining, like, oh, this, let me see if I explain it right. It is a kind of like I don't want to mess it up. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is how the birds would congregate. And it was a meaning of how they do it. So I want to back up and let you explain it. Go ahead.
Yes. So just the word rookery, a rookery is a place where crows congregate.
Okay.
A rook is actually a crow. It's more used in like old British English. They'll refer to a crow as a rook. So a rookery is a place where crows go to live or congregate. Um, the reason I like the name the Rookery is I enjoy bird watching, and also it's a reference to there was a mansion in a Charles Dickens movie, and I love Charles Dickens movies, and the books. So when I was thinking of a place that would be special, I thought of this mansion that was referenced in. It's actually completely drawing a blank because I have a camera on me,
It's all
but
right.
I'll think of it in a second. But
Yeah.
it's referenced in a Charles Dickens movie. So I also love to travel. And if anyone's been watching online, you see them with these tiny houses, which kind of morphed into van life. And I thought that is something I would be interested in.
Hmm.
So I started looking for a van, and I wasn't sure how much I would like it. Um, so I started looking for a minivan instead of one of those, a nice RV or something like that.
Hmm.
And I found a lady who's a friend of mine. She was a little bit older. She never learned to drive. She's had moved down here 30 years ago from Brooklyn. And
Wow.
she's like, Kim, I've got to sell this van. It's costing me a bundle. So, so me and her made an arrangement and I bought her van from her. And then I started fixing it up. And I started off traveling around Florida, and that is most of my travel because I was just kind of doing it on the weekends. So I named the van the Rookery. And
Ah.
so that is my little place. It's become a project. And so, yeah, I've taken it a lot of different places in Florida on overnight trips. I've met a community of other people, some women's groups, some different get togethers, and we get together and go camping. And it's awesome. It's awesome. I've
Wow.
taken it into Georgia and, state parks. And you learn a lot about yourself as well as the other people that you're with.
Hmm.
Um, I've learned so much about just, survival skills, outdoor skills, um, and that kind of feeds into other things I'm interested in. We have so many political things going on. I'm like, hey, you know what? I better know a little bit about
Yeah.
survival in case
That's
the
right.
grid ever shuts down or,
That's true.
it's, it hits the fan, you need to. So yeah, my rookery is one of the things I really enjoy. So I set up a website and a YouTube channel to kind of document my travels. But you learn with that too. It's a chance to do video editing and well, I every area you learn so much and
Yeah.
you think like I don't know anything. And then there's one more little person like, hey, how'd you do that? And I'm like, I can't believe anybody's ever asking me how do you do something. But sure enough, you learn and you show other
Yeah.
people and it just gets passed on.
Wow. That's awesome. Wow. Man. Wow. One thing I wanted to ask you about, because on one of your trips to Georgia, no, was that Georgia? Yeah, it was Georgia. And you had told me about the Guidestones that you got a chance to see, right?
Yes.
And then you
Yeah.
took the picture. So, how did you feel right after that happened?
Yeah. In the Guidestones, I hadn't really heard about that until maybe the last 4 years. And I'd been saying, I'm going to go up there and see that Georgia Guidestones. I want to see what the Illuminati is planning for us, you
Yeah.
know. So I'd been planning for a long time, never made it up there. But then in April, there was a convention in Georgia that I wanted to go to. So I thought, I'm going to go camping after that convention. And on the way back, I'll be able to loop around and stop at the Georgia Guidestones. Well, sure enough, they were just like people said, kind of creepy with these kind of commandments on there. And, but yeah, just, about 2 months after I was there, someone blew up the Guidestones. And
Wow.
so, yeah, I mean, I'm glad I got to go there and get my own pictures, and see it myself because it's completely demolished now. So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of weird to visit something like that and then it's just gone. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a strange monument anyway. That's a whole conversation in itself.
Yeah, we could probably that'd be great if you have some time to come back if we could talk about something like that because when you said it I never heard of him and
Never
then
heard of that?
no,
Yeah.
no, and then that's what was so weird about it. Like you had told me and you showed me the pictures until I googled it that day, and then I was like, oh okay, just like you said, I'll have to see it one day.
Yeah.
And when they destroyed them, it made me think about that you went there. It made me think about that. I said, wow, you stepped out and said, "I'm going to do this now," and it reminded me of so many things we put off, taking for
Exactly.
granted that it's going to be there, and it's
Yeah.
not. And that's something historical. You have actual pictures. No one else will ever be able to see that again. And you saw it, number one, but you actually have photos. And so
Yeah.
that made me like, wow, I got to get out and really explore some of these places on this globe because
Yeah.
you don't know what's going to happen
You
tomorrow.
don't know what's going to happen. That's a big part of, this whole travel thing. Um, and just things in life, you think you have so much time, and it's like, you turn 18 and you have all these plans, you blink and you're 30. And you're like, okay, by 40, I'm going to have this, I'm going to be doing that. You blink, you're 45. And
Mm,
I think, I can remember talking to older people, they're 80 years old, and in their head they feel like they did when they were 20, and it's just a puff of smoke. Your whole life goes by. So it's like when you want to do something, you set a time to do it and you do it.
okay.
Don't wait for people. Don't, and in some cases you can't do that, but if at all possible, do the things that you want to do. Don't keep saying later, 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 because like you said, just like the Guidestones, they're gone. So it's like,
Uh,
okay, so take that as a lesson. So the next thing you want to see, just say, you know what? I'm going there, next month. You're like, hey, I've never been kayaking before. You know what? Go kayaking next weekend. You're like, oh, but I
uh,
don't have anyone to go with. You know what? There's groups. Sign up for a tour. You can find it. I think for me, especially lately, I'm like, do do the things that you want to do while you can, because you never know what's going to happen. I just got back. I think I just told you, one of the places I've always dreamed about going is just exploring this country.
mhm.
And so the last couple years, um, in 2019, I had put together a girls' trip for a couple girlfriends,
Okay.
and we were going to go to Portland, Oregon. Well, one thing after another, one of them got a new job, another one had some financial things come up, and I just, the trip got canceled. But I said, you know what? I've never seen Portland. I don't know when I'm ever going to see Portland. I'm going by myself. And
Wow.
I thought it was going to be really scary. I'm embarrassed to say how much I loved it, because
uh,
you're on your own time. You go when you want. You see things that you're interested in. You eat when you want to eat. If you go someplace and it's not as fun as you thought it was going to be, you leave early. If it's better than you thought, you stay longer. It's just, solo travel is one of those things that, I'll do it. I'm married and my husband likes to travel, but I also travel on my own.
uh-huh.
And so I would tell anyone, don't be afraid to do, maybe travel isn't your thing. Whatever it is you've been wanting to try it.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. I like
So
that.
what's that thing for you, John? What are you doing next?
Wow. Well, I just finished the book that I've been working on, and I just checked today. They put it on Amazon. And ironically, the name of the book is titled "Live Your Life," and then this,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and the subtitle is "Motivation for Living." And how that came about is writing on Medium. It was
Oh, yeah.
yeah, writing was one of those things I always scribbled in books throughout my life, but never put it into a complete book. Just always writing, millions of ideas, and say, oh, one day. And then I was writing on Medium, and once you was like, oh yeah, I'm reading your stuff, it's good. And I said, oh, that was inspiring. Like, well, let me keep going. And I got an idea. Well, I didn't get the idea. I read an idea of someone saying, hey, as you write on Medium, you can pull together subjects that you write about, and you can edit them and turn them into a book. I said, oh, let me try that. And sure enough, I got on Amazon. It took probably like a week of editing and figuring out, they're real particular about how the book looks and, the formatting and all of that. And after 2 weeks, it finally got approved. Um,
Yeah.
So I'll share the link. So it's that, and in the meantime, I help other people with their shows. There's some a comedian, couple of comedians, and uh, they're not really into the tech side, but I say, wow, you really need to use this platform to get your stuff out there. So once a week, I'll film them just like we're doing now, and then give them the video and put it on their YouTube and try to help promote them as they're doing their stand up act. So
Yeah,
and yeah, so that's mostly like
awesome.
it's yeah. Yeah, so like I said, we in IT, but that's what we kind of do because we know it. But these are like these passions and these things that really give us that drive. So we're similar. It's like different interests we have that we kind of, oh, I like doing that and like doing that. So I like to stay
Yeah.
active and learning. But
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think as you get older, older people are always telling you, just keep learning. Whatever it is, you want to learn cake decorating,
mhm.
or, I can't tell you how many different classes and interests that I've taken, picture framing, um, I don't know, watercolor
Wow,
painting, or, I have a dog. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, you learn and grow, and I think that's what life is all about. Just you're always learning.
yeah. Can you really quick let them know before we forget that? Let them know the websites. I'll put it down here, and don't forget
Yeah.
to subscribe once she tells you, and also subscribe here. But can you tell them your websites?
The website is www.therookeryvanlife.com. And I just post videos and post some of my thoughts up there. I always feel like I could be more active on there, but I do as much as I can, and try to keep it fun, give some ideas for how other people, because I mean I'm just a regular old person too, but when you talk to people, everyone is like, wow, I want to travel. It's like, oh, where are you going next? I just got back from Wyoming. I'm like, I don't know anyone else that goes to Wyoming, but I just wanted to get out there. So I flew from Florida out to Denver and then just drove a loop through Wyoming, South Dakota, and Nebraska. And
Wow.
it was awesome. It was really um, it's beautiful. It's a different landscape than what we have on the East Coast, but
Hmm.
man, I loved it. I loved it. And seeing different animals and different people, it yeah, I love it.
Wow.
I'm already planning for next year.
Wow. So you probably pretty much all just about covered all the 50 states right
Um,
about now, right?
right now I have 8 states left before
Oh
they're all, so
man,
it's a
that's
few, but they're kind of spread out.
wow.
Well, haven't been to Idaho, but
Okay.
it's like Idaho, North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin,
Uh huh.
I think Iowa, and Hawaii. I think there's, oh, and Vermont. Vermont's
Vermont.
in there
Okay.
too. Seems like there's one more, but yeah, I know it's 8. I
Okay.
know.
Hey. Wow. I gotta catch up. I'm not even. I'm embarrassed to say only how many states I've been to. I'm not even gonna say it. I'm not gonna bring it up till I get to like at least
No,
20,
tell
25.
us. Tell us. Tell us.
Wow. Let me say. I'll just kind of tell it like this. Like East Coast, I've been to Philly, New York City, and then the people I was staying with were in New Jersey.
Okay.
And then being from Michigan, of course, always coming down that strip of Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky.
See,
Um,
you've been to some. I know tons of people that have never been that far. So
right,
yeah,
right,
you
right.
have some. You have some.
Yeah. And then
And you know
West,
what? Wherever you are, that's where you are.
yeah,
So,
that's how I
you
go.
know,
That's how I go. That's true. That's true.
there's no rules.
That's right.
There are no rules to say you have to do it a certain
Yeah.
way, or even that you have to make it to all of them. It's just, you
Hmm.
know, it's just something that you want to do.
Yeah, because I mean, I just picturing the places you say, like a lot of places that you're bringing up now. I've only kind of seen them in books and movies,
Yeah.
and so that's what as we talk about as we getting along in life. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna wait till I'm 80 to try to crawl across the.
That's right.
I'm
That's
gonna
right.
find a way, you know. And it's weird by being here in Florida. You know how Florida is one of those places that you connect with people from all over. Like you being from East Coast and me being in the Midwest, and I so being here in Florida, I've met a couple of friends of mine who are in Minnesota and moved back out to Denver, and I still haven't been out to see them. So I'm like, man, I know people there. I really need to go because
Yeah.
they can help, kind of be an ambassador to me once
Yeah.
I get there to help. So
Yep.
that's
Yeah. Take advantage when you have friends that offer different things,
okay.
don't wait until they've moved off. I've done that myself. And then you're like, man, I should have gone you know, when I had the chance. I have a good friend back in the DC area, and me and her would like kind of piggyback off of when we had work trips.
Uh huh.
My company would let me book my own hotel. So I'd
Okay.
always book a hotel that has double beds.
Oh,
And then
right.
she would do the same thing. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to Dallas for the week. If you can make it. And then she'd fly out. And while I'm doing my work, she gets to see the city. And it's a way to do it. I know one
Wow.
time she called me. She was like, hey, I'm going to Seville, Spain. And I was like,
Wow.
hey, I have a passport. That's another thing. Get your passport
Okay.
and have it ready because you might get an opportunity. And, if you're fiddling around like, hey, I need a passport, you could miss something. Like, keep your stuff ready. Don't leave yourself so you're broke all the time. Keep some money put aside so that, when you do get an opportunity, it's not such a hardship. You can just go.
Wow. Oh, that's excellent advice. That is excellent.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we
Uh,
still talk about that trip to Spain. Like, remember that
wow.
time we went to Spain?
Now
It's
listen to that.
awesome.
Listen to that itself. This is how that sounds. You sitting at dinner somewhere, and just like,
Mhm.
oh, remember that time? And it's people that probably try to save up their whole life. Say one day, and
Yep.
all it took was,
One of these days.
just getting up and going. We definitely, if you can come back, I definitely would like to do one that's based around travel, like you said. Because I know you put up. Definitely once again, check out Kim's site because you put up some tips about travel, which I thought were really cool about packing,
Yeah.
which was excellent. And like you're saying now, get your passport. And then the third, I'm just picking up now. That's an excellent idea. Instead of worrying about accommodations, if you have friends or someone that's traveling, and like you say, they got a room, and let you know, all you got to do is get there.
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
that's excellent advice. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, there's tons. I'll have to make another video about my husband had a work trip where they sent him to the originally they said it's to Paris. But
Wow.
actually, it was more like 12 miles northeast of Paris. And
Hmm.
we had the tiniest hotel room ever. But you can make it work. Like, we were probably the only people at the Eiffel Tower. I had packed us a lunch. We were eating like
Wow.
little cheese sandwiches.
Uh
But
huh.
it was like the more money you save, the more places you can go. So,
Uh,
you just some areas you cut expenses where you can, and just, yeah, take advantage if someone offers, you know yeah, let them. If they offer to let you tag along, and do something so you're not a nuisance. Like, bring something you know
yeah.
that will help them out too. But
Uh huh.
yeah, those tag alongs, that's a good way. I just thought of that. Yeah, that's a
there, you,
travel tip.
there you go. See,
Yep.
there you go. I like that. Wow. I know your time is valuable. And we still got a couple more minutes. So I wanted to see if these things that I wanted to cover, you kind of covered them because throughout
Yeah.
this you're really helping, sharing your approach to life and giving excellent advice. So and you may have it covered itself on this last one, but I want to open it up before we wrap up. What is the maybe the most valuable life advice you have to share with someone?
And I thought about this before, and um, I think for me, some of them are personal to me. Um, Even though I may think it applies to everyone, we all have to make our own choices. Um, for me, I treat this life like this isn't the end of everything. I'm, as a Christian, I don't believe this is the end of my life. So to me, the most important thing is I want God to know who I am.
Mm.
So that's something that's important to me. Um, and then just in this life, enjoy yourself. Don't make decisions that are gonna, negatively impact the rest of your life.
Mm.
Make choices that are smart. um, a lot of times you don't always know the next move. There's been tons of times where I thought, I don't know what I should do. Like, what is the best move? I think sometimes if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. And sometimes just waiting on something will give you a little more time to think about it. But then other things, when you have an idea and you feel passionate about something, do it. And just, you're responsible for yourself. I haven't always done everything perfect, but I'm okay with everything I have done. So I think, you know make your own decisions and live your life, because you're only going through this one time and it goes fast.
Mm.
you know
Yeah.
i'm I'm a little older now, and I'm like, wow, it seems like just yesterday I was doing so and so. But
Yeah.
just don't be afraid to get out there and meet people, and don't assume everyone is like the worst. I've met so many different people, and people are more the same than they want to admit. Most
Okay.
people are the same. You go to other countries and maybe a little bit different, but they're the same. So
Okay.
yeah, I feel like, yeah, I just feel like, life is good. Make it good, and do things that make yourself happy. Surround yourself with people that make you happy, and I think it'll work out.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, is Kimberly Bell once again. The links will be down below. Check that out below so you can go and definitely subscribe to her site and mine. And that is the rookeryvanlife.com, right? Is the
That's right.
actual website.
Yeah.
When you have some time from your travels, please see if you can carve out a minute or two to come back, and we'll definitely get a chance to talk more in depth about some other subjects that I'm very excited to hear about. But other than that, we're going to close with that. And thank you once again. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Anytime.
All right. Thank you. All
Bye.
right. Bye now.